All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Growth Mindset Collective today with Nikki Hall. Hi, Nikki. How are you today?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. A little cold, but great. No, it's not winter, but sure feels like it with the cold weather outside today.
In the East Coast, they're having what they're calling a heat dome
Oh,
today.
really? Oh,
140 to 144 degrees Fahrenheit.
oh, my goodness. Toasty.
Yes. Yeah, and we're kind of cool here.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, welcome everyone to today's Growth Mindset Collective. I'm so grateful you're here with us, taking time for your growth, your mindset, and your personal evolution. Today's theme is about broadening your horizons. So, like the mindset shift that changes everything, hopefully. So often we live with invisible boundaries like our beliefs, fears, and old stories that keep us stuck in what's familiar. But what if today was the day you gave yourself permission to think bigger, to see from a new lens, and to invite in the new possibilities that have always been there waiting for you? So, Nikki, what do you have for us today? I always wait to see what you have for us.
Well, there's two things. I want to talk about opening your mind and learning, but first, I really think it's important that we learn. I call it the cheat, because we live in an environment that has laws that never change. It doesn't recognize humor, it doesn't recognize any kind of but, it doesn't recognize any kind of non-validation or any excuses or anything. It's just solid. Like if you're going to walk off your front porch, you're going to go down. You're never going to go up. The sun always goes down, the moon always comes up, the tide always ebbs and flows. So we can do personal work that is the most easiest for us. And that is we could refresh or remember or study the laws of the universe that is pertaining to us and our behavior. And we could just polish ourselves, or we could reintegrate some things that because we followed society, because we followed ourselves on our lowest level of living, like in this manner, with the news, with our bosses, with our parents who thought they were guiding us in the best way possible. If we just brought back the natural parts of our being and we just grew a little bit with the natural laws that exist within us and outside of us, even if it's a trajectory of 1%. I'm sure you all have heard me say this before, but if you're starting at, let's say you're driving your car, you're starting in New York City, you want to go to California. So that's basically kind of coast to coast. So if you set your car on this, let's pretend that that's a straight line from the East Coast to the West Coast. If you set your car on that plan, and if you were to change your trajectory just by 1%, you would not get to California. You would either go this way or this way, but you would not reach California. And by the time you've reached this distance within yourself, there's a lot of change that's happened. So even if we can polish ourselves 1% through all the things that we are and putting some things back into place or taking an action that we know we should be taking, that'll change your life. And it's easy. It's To me, it's like cheating. It's like, oh yeah, I could do that. And then I do it. And it's like not a lot of work. It exists within me. It makes life easier. And I think that also causes us to live in harmony with our ebb and flow and our to and through growth that we experience in life. That's how we want to work. We want to work faster, but we want to get things done quicker, but we don't want to go fast. And that's an excellent way to not feel pressure, not feel overburdened, not feel too much of anything, and to cause success within us.
That's right. My mom always used to say that something that comes fast usually leaves fast too. So,
Yes,
you know, progress nice and steady. And the thing is,
yes,
like I love Nikki's story with the driving through the states always. But it's true, you cannot change your life with the same level of thinking that created your current results. Expansion starts by becoming aware of the inner dialogue shaping your world. So ask yourself, where am I limiting myself? Because is it because of things I went through before, or I want to be comfortable, so I'm staying there. I don't want to move beyond that. So, and basically, whose voice are you really listening to? Is it your voice? And sometimes even that voice, might be kind of leading you God knows where, but or are you listening to somebody else? I've done both ways before, and sometimes they just don't work out. So growth comes not from having all the answers, but from having willingness to question what you've always believed. And I've done that for on different occasions, like even growing up, just because I was told something, oh, this is how it is. There's times I question it. I was like, well, is it really? Or is this what you grew up with? Therefore, you want me to believe the same thing, and going forward, I'll do the same thing and blah, blah, blah. And I've done that many times where it's like, no, I choose to believe something different. If we all thought the same things, we'll end up doing the same things. How boring would that be, right? But we're all unique. We're same, but we're all unique. We all have our talents. And sometimes, yeah, we want to follow somebody, but you follow somebody to a point, and then it's your time to shine, to do what you came here to do, what you are meant to do. I find a lot of people, they end up chasing different things, and in the end, they're still unhappy because they haven't really done the inner work. Right, Nikki?
absolutely. We find as mindset coaches that we find that a lot of the people just don't quite do the work, or else they get overwhelmed, or else, there's a lot of life that could get in your way. And you can validate it at least 100 times in every single day. You really have to make the choice to, I'm just going to find this poem. I think I can find it. To make the change. Let's
Yeah.
see.
And sometimes it's like squirrel, I call it, because you start
Yeah.
to think, oh, it's not working. You jump onto the next thing. Oh, that's not working either. That's because
Mhm.
sometimes we don't give ourselves enough time, or we're looking through the wrong lenses still, and things like that. So I thought I'll throw it in there, the
Yeah,
squirrel thing. But did you find
absolutely.
did you find the poem?
Yes, I did. But there's something else I want to say to continue on the squirrel point. And that is when we're looking at a project, we don't even go squirrel. We look at it and we think, oh yeah, I'm going to do this finally. That what I wanted to do for so long, I'm going to do it now. I've got all my ducks in a row here and all in here. And then we look at what we have to do and we get a perspective and we get an idea of some of the things we have to do. And then there's this area that's totally vague or totally unknown. And I'm serious now. You can all search yourself and find this about yourself, even though none of us want to admit this. And we'll look at that void and we'll think, oh, I don't know that. And then, boom, suddenly your mind is going somewhere else. You're away from the project. You're not interested in doing it anymore. You just tra la la off into some other hemisphere in your life and you keep going and you're happy with yourself. Like years could go by and we don't get over this. Like we literally dropped the project, we literally dropped the dream, we dropped the goal, and we don't question ourselves about it. We don't say, hey, come on, there's just this part, go learn it. Nope. We look at it, we're like, run, and we don't come back.
Yeah. So either you're a squirrel, a duck, or a hamster. I
Yes.
don't
We
know. You
stay
gotta throw
on
some
the wheel.
So you gotta have some
Yeah.
fun with this too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's funny. This is a quote that came out of Bob Proctor's work, and it's from Eric Hoffer, and it says, "To learn, you need a certain degree of confidence, not too much and not too little. If you have too little confidence, you will think you can't learn. If you have too much confidence, you will think you don't have to learn." So I think that's really well said because we just have to pace ourselves and like Ava was cautioning us before when those old thoughts come back in, it could cause you justification on either end of the spectrum of growth or challenge or picking something up and taking action. So
that's
you got
right.
to try. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got to try
because
and. Hmm?
yeah, no, that exactly true. And sometimes those old thoughts will surface, and either you can go back, be where your thoughts brought you, or you can be like, oh, thank you so much for this contrast. And now I know which way to go exactly because I am clear on it. So I love that because definitely when I was in Bob Proctor's coaching program, I learned a lot about myself, and it's an ongoing process because just as your awareness changes, you discover something new about yourself or circumstances you're in, and then you're able to respond differently to things as they come. Instead of going from the old self, you are now in the new awareness, you're looking from a new lens, and you make better decisions, going
Mhm.
forward. I mean, things will come up always, but we always have a choice.
Mhm. Yes. And here's a little quote or thought from Wallace D. Wattles. That's another one that Bob Proctor introduced to us. And this says a person's right to life means his right to have the free and unrestricted use of all things which may be necessary to the fullest of his potential, spiritually and physically causing unfolding. In other words, his right to be rich. We all on it, like there's none of us here that are going to be inventing something as fantastic as the car, as the internet, as the computers. We're not reinventing anything, and what we're looking to grow with and what we're looking to do, millions have done before us. So there is no reason that we can't do it ourselves.
That's right. Yeah. Always something to ponder on. And basically, you have to continue to broaden your horizons. It's not one-time thing either. It's a daily decision to think beyond your limitations and to step into the unfamiliar with courage. So I just want to say thank you for joining us today, and take what resonates with you, apply it in your life, and share it with someone else too. That's how we all grow and expand. And of course, if you guys need any help with anything, feel free to reach out to us. Growth is contagious when we model it for others too. So until next time, stay curious, stay open, and never stop growing because life's too short. So I hope you enjoyed being with us here today and have a wonderful day. Thanks,
Bye.
Nikki. Bye.